This episode of The Cut was filmed at the Men's Grooming Lounge.
Big Bashman keeper there, what go
Yes,
on?
man.
My sister killer shell it down.
Yellow. Oh, well,
It was your birthday.
my birthday.
Yeah.
Did that thing in Ocho. Really wanted to bring one of the icons in Jamaican music to the people in a way that they would have access to him, because, what you see in Ocho is that big events going to Ocho. But some of the people there that kind of work at the lower end of the salary scale can't necessarily enjoy some of those events. So
Right.
a big artist go there, but did they get to see them? So we took him really down to Ocho Square, really at the top of James Avenue, and brought it back to Jack Ruby days, and had Killer and Swatch in
Yeah.
town. So the people get to see quality dancehall.
Yeah.
And then also the businesses in the area were able to benefit, because it just make them sell them, whether it's food, drinks, peanut man, etc.
So you say you're not left out the music.
Can't.
No matter where you go, no matter which pedestal them put you
You
on.
realize all the talking about that can come right back to
This is me in the future. Always want to prove a point. Now we're contemplating another junction in life. We live with our decisions. It all come down to choice. And I made use of my opportunity. Now I'm where I wanna be.
Look who we have in the cut today. The great Romain Virgo, rising star and now rising legend. They say it ain't my brother.
you know, easy. You know. I second time you say that thing, yeah.
All right,
But-
so you know, say I rate
It's
her.
true,
So, and we also have Minister Matthew Samuda. What you say, bro?
Yeah, my brother.
I can't remember the full title. The title long enough.
The long name title.
Yeah, I can't remember everything, but Minister,
Wow,
respect, man.
Blessings.
Yeah, man. I'm going to make them know the early days, the origin of our friendship, and how far we are forward from,
Decades.
decades, I feel like Jamaica don't know your story. All the way is a part of your story, so I'm going to start with your early days. Family, from mother, father, start from this, so.
So, I mean, grew up with my mother and father. Obviously spent a lot of time also with my grandmother on my mother's side. Was very close with her. So, my dad is a lawyer. My mom is a teacher, a dance teacher. Mm-hmm. So, grew up with, a very interesting mix of background in terms of, how they worked, how they whatever. But one thing that was common was that they worked very hard. So I spent a lot of time, certainly in the evenings, in the week with my grandmother. I was very close to her. But as you would know, my life in many ways in the early years kind of centered around Peter and Paul. Even when I look at all, wherever you have lived with your parents, etc., is within a couple kilometers of Peter and Paul. So in many ways, it's a narrow space, but knowing that general area, the width of the exposure that you get. Because you have a little bit of everybody in that general zone. So that would have been where my life and early years would have been spent generally in that space. Actually, you'll recall I missed the Peter and Paul Mona rivalry because my classroom was destroyed in Gilbert. So I had to shift school and go down to Hopefield at the time. So I never get that part of the rivalry in the early years, which with you them and all of that thing in terms of that space.
Yeah, and music was also a big part of
Huge.
Your early days too. I
Definitely.
mean, when I started singing, you had a sound system.
Yeah.
And your sound system was one of the first sound systems that really believed in Wayne Marshall's career. And push dub plate and remix tunes and all kind of thing.
So I mean, from my grandmother used to sing in church, so you get that sort of early exposure. Did the drum lessons, did the piano lessons, etc. So always loved the music. But I think like a lot of young people when you go into high school, the sound system culture kind of captures your vibe. So I mean, I grew up seeing Travelers and Cataract, booming. Like I had to walk through where Cataract was enough evenings. When you got like to 14, 15, and mom not necessarily picking you up after football or something like that. You take a walk, go through Sandy Park, and you'd see Cataract in action. You'd see other sounds like a Black Ninja, definitely Travelers, and that sort of Kingston 6.
Yeah.
Indeed. So we went through that sort of time, and it grows on you, right? You see how they set up the speakers, you learn how to tune the sound, you get exposed to it little by little, and then at the same time, we were getting interested in it, and then you were taking off in the DJ world. So it was interesting because we had so much mutual friends. We were able to make the connection. I mean, I remember one Friday evening, we walking through Sovereign. That is when Sovereign is the place, you know.
Yeah.
And Wayne and Ward 21 come through, and them had the security had to lock them in a store. It was pandemonium.
Crazy.
Total pandemonium on the Friday. You remember?
Superstar business.
Yeah.
So when we even at Campion and we keeping the little concerts and it's our sound playing and whatever, we always had a strength because we were some of the only youngsters who would have a link to Wayne and to Ward 21 and by extension Ellie and Lexus. Killer came to a couple even if him just go on stage for 10 seconds and close it and move. So those were sort of those days. I mean, that is when we had the legendary Celica.
Yeah.
And even before, but you know, had Ellie with the F-150 with the flames on it. And
Yes, sir.
And we went from there.
The
and
good old days, man.
Because of that exposure and that sort of connect and that link and the fact that, you know, Wayne used to open the doors for it to in certain spaces. We'd have got the link with Sharon at one point. I mean, our sound didn't stay as a Sweet 16 so much. A lot of people wouldn't know. The very last place I would have played out in my time would have been Fully Loaded at James Bond Beach. So, you know, we did the sting.
No, man, a proper sound system then did around, man.
We did dub plate, CD, and then digital. We caught that era of great change in the sound system business.
Right.
So we're not as vinyl, we're not as big box before powered box. So we went through that sort of evolutionary space in the music at that time.
So Romain, so your early days, like I have my kids now and, you know, we always observe them to see how them talents, you know, what them strengths, you know, how them a blossom and stuff. Tell me now, walk me back to a time when you open your mouth and sing and there was an adult in the room, an auntie, an uncle, somebody who said, hold on the little youth.
Yeah.
Do that again. You realize, say, what you have is a world-class thing. You remember that moment where you open your mouth and them say, no, sir, that little boy.
Yeah, it was one of them moments where you not really you have going on you.
Yeah.
And you know, as a country youth, you don't know we bathe outside, in front of the yard, in the open. Everybody has your business when you bathe the country. So I remember one Sunday morning I was, you know, getting ready for church, because you have to go to church as a youth back in my place. You know, and I was just singing out, you know, because we have to sing because the water's so cold. You know, country people can relate to what I talk about. And but as I sing out, I wasn't, you know, like me, I try to impress anybody. I was just being myself. And we had this neighbor, her name is Auntie Mama. She was just passing through and I said, oh, you hear that talent that we have? You know, and for me, I never take it as nothing serious. You know, it's just like, you know, our next neighbor try to build up your confidence. I'm just not why you're going and getting into trouble or anything like that. So it never mean much to me at the time. You know, but she was the one who come over, like she step over the wall and call my mother and I say, yo, him can't sing, you know. So that was maybe like the very first moment I realized that maybe I have some talent. Maybe there is something there, you know, and, you know, a little bit after that I started, you know, church. You know, one morning I was in church and, you know, devotion over and I decided that I'm just going to go up there and grab the mic and sing some. And me up there, I sing out my heart. And next brother from the community now, him run from half of the road. I don't think he would even that church. Him run half of the road and I say, how that, yo, him can sing. You know, and, you know, it's like each time somebody say something like that to me, it's like motivation.
Confirm and reaffirm.
Yeah, confirm, say, yo, you can do this thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of my thing really and truly go like one opportunity, one encouragement, just strengthen and I move forward as time go by. You know, so from singing in my yard to, you know, the church, going to high school, somebody else who saw me at a church concert, you know, decided that, yo, you need to sing in the school choir. Because you can't sing. Me see, I want concert the other day I sing. Yeah. You know, so, you know.
And that led to All Together Sing.
And that led to All Together Sing. So the moment I entered school, I mean, even before All Together Sing, we used to do things like the JCDC festivals. I used to win some gold medals sometimes, you know, silver. You know, and when I reached 9th grade, that was when I became the lead singer for the choir. And You know, All Together Sing came.
How did you do? You never know.
My name was an All Together Sing.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, say, when he started on Rising Star, I was like, wait, hold on then. No, me little singer this from All Together Sing.
Yeah, but a whole heap of people mix you up with Jermaine Blake, don't you? You know, and then, you know, Romain, Jermaine, it sounded like.
Right.
And then Jermaine had a little brother who sings as well.
Okay.
You know, so a whole heap of people kind of mix you up. A whole heap of people think that Jermaine was me, you know?
Okay.
And I have to tell them, say, no, Jermaine is somebody else.
Yeah. How did you do? How well did you do in All Together Sing?
We entered in 2006 for the very first time, and we came second. You know, that year we thought we'd win the competition. It never worked out still. Jermaine, them Oberlin.
Yeah.
Them kick over foot.
Oh, and them win.
Yeah, because what them do is save them little brother. Because him just walk around every other week, come at the show, and him just watch and I say, oh, this little youth, but him never go into the choir until 1 week. Like I think it was the final week. Him just put him in and him. See this little youth come out and sing out him heart and him soul. Why do fools fall in love? And I said the whole Jamaica just said no at them. And cause we did in the lead, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, Jamaica did like them, they behind me, but you know, them surprised me and you know, lesson learned. You know what I mean? You have to just give your best and you can't feel too comfortable.
Killer, the Buddha, representing for Matthew Samuda. Yellow. Santon!
Following year, that's when you entered Rising Star?
So no, I entered the same year and I want to tell you say I never really get through. You know, them time that Anthony Miller said.
Most Anthony Miller.
Really? So there's a time where you buck it up on Rising
man,
Star?
all the things I'm gonna tell people, you know. I'm glad for the cut, we can't talk about them things. But yeah man, I enter in 2006 and them time I tell you say one of the things when I learn from that too is to be confident in yourself. Because me I say to myself, it's almost like I tell myself say, I fail even before I start because I go up on this thing now and I wear shades like nobody don't know me for wear shades. I just left high school where I sing and people see my face. So I wear shades, I tell myself, say, if I don't make it, no. If I don't make it,
Nobody know you.
don't want nobody figure out.
Yo.
You can imagine that? So,
Yeah.
is really and truly, after I go up on stage and I sing now, and them time, you know, I watch Christopher Martin the year before, and he was like a big motivation for me. I say, yo, if a youth, not them. I say, if him can do it as a youth, where basically just I left high school, then me can do it too. You know, so, you know, I go up on the thing and sing one of the songs when the man sing the year before, and he's like, Anthony Miller just never want to hear nothing like that. You know, he wants something brand new.
Peace.
And brother, I go up there and I say, I was born by the... I say, sorry, wrong song. Yeah. And you just walk up, come and say, if me can't please a brother, yeah? It's almost like say, you know, me getting into the competition don't really mean much because him are the main man. Him are the man where if him say yes, you're gone clear, you see me? So I just walk off. And I'm Nadine there try to call me back. Like she say, yo, come. Like she said, sing something else, but it's like me. Right away, me that tell myself, say, yo, maybe I'm not here this year, I'm gone.
Whoa.
I'm gonna come back.
So I never even know that. Me check say from a touch pan Rising Star, it was just whoosh.
I want to tell you something, I feel like there is nothing when I do in a life where I just do it one time and get it. There is nothing when I feel like I just one shot and I just get through.
Yeah.
Enough time I sit down with my wife and I talk and I say, is this some of the things that we go through, enough things that we do is almost like we have to do it twice or 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, before we really and truly, you know, get there, you know? Yeah, man, that's some of my things, brother.
So even you, Matty, I'm sure you have had your fair share of challenges in your journey so far.
So,
what has been the most challenging thing for you in your career as a politician?
So first 2 memories I'd say similar to that. Like it's a hell of a thing when you keep a party and nobody not come. Like you keep a dance and clap.
Yeah.
And you can't be a promoter and don't have a night that don't work in your favor. And I think that kind of prepares you Because I was in the, as a teenager, early 20s, you're heavily into entertainment, marketing, sound, etc. So you get that lick and it kind of prepare you for some of the licks that will come politically. I mean, I'll never forget December 29, 2011, when the JLP lost. At that time, very new to politics, very active at the time with G2K, under former presidents like Delano Seawright and Warren Newby, etc. And you're getting into the marketing of this, and you start to believe that your view is the right view because you're like a hotshot marketer, not understanding that you're in a totally new discipline, and it is a hell of a thing to see the country say your view is the wrong view, categorically, not close. It's a hell of a thing, and an experience to say the country said no. Yeah. That's not that space, and I think politicians, like all people, have to deal with disappointment, but it's important that they're able to wheel and come again.
Yeah.
You know what I do want to ask him? Like, back to the sound system thing.
Yeah.
What the most people, like, what the least amount of people ever see now and dance or you promote hard? You just said, yo, like, this discourage me.
No, like, you keep a dance with like 100 people after it depend at the time, like Fame FM at the big station. At the time, like, you have Fame and dance and it just don't work. But it was always where you cut corners and perhaps arrogance creeping or overconfidence creeping. There's a balance, right? It's always you have to be confident enough to not be defeated first, but you also can't be overconfident and not listen to or see the signs that are in front of you. If you're not paying attention, you lose your blessings, right? So for that to me was a good training ground. I mean, I know it is to keep events with 10, 15,000 people. And what it is to keep a dance with 100 people and you're expecting 2,000, right? So you have those experiences, and I think that trains you for politics. I mean, politics in the morning is never the same as politics in the evening. Yeah. It is a roller coaster, and like anything else I've seen.
I feel like anything where I have to do with music. I feel like music is one of the things where really and truly I go train you in, like at the best training ground that anything else where you want to step out in your life. You know? Anything. Yourself can probably talk, you know, like with all of the things that when you move, you know, you step into as you go along, you know, different from, you know, like what music, but when music helps to prepare, like you couldn't want more than that.
Absolutely. One thing I noticed, especially with you, Romain, that you were never afraid to put your family system unit on blast. How important is it to have family and the structure and just respecting that as a man?
Well, you know, as a youth, I grew up without, you know, like a father figure inside the house, you know, like for probably 12, 13 years of my life. Me just, like from them time, I said to myself, say, when I become a man, you know, I never want my kids to grow up the way I grew up. Because fast forward to now, it's like sometimes, me I wonder, like, especially when my wife, they get pregnant. I mean, I look into myself, like, I picture the future now. I say, what am I going to say to these girls that have learned from, like, a man perspective, you know? What am I going to say to my girls, them? You know, and it does show the importance of family and having, you know, proper family structure around, you know? And not to say that, you know, you don't have some single parents home where, you know?
Awesome jobs.
It do some, you know, very good jobs.
Amazing.
But it's almost like, I feel like if I had that around, the man that I am today, I would be, you know, 20 times better, you know? Yeah. So, you know, me give thanks for, you know, further on in my life, like, me get to meet, you know, my stepfather who passed away recently, God bless his soul. But he was somebody who stepped in and kind of, you know, directly and indirectly kind of showed me the importance of family and having the proper family structure around and, you know, just guiding your kids as they go along in the right way, you know, and yeah, man. So from you know, just how I grew up, it just make me know, say like no, you know, growing up like doing it now, I have to show, I have to do it for them and make sure say whatever me teach them, you know, them are gonna become even 10 times better, you know, and I'm gonna give thanks to people like, you know, Nico, my manager, you know, and all of the people who usually did guide me, you know, indirectly and directly. Because sometimes them don't know, say, them might not say, hey, you need to do this or do that. Right. But just by them actions.
Example. Yeah.
You know, me just say, wow, this is how I want my life to for go, you
I'm
know?
big on that. Leading by example as opposed to opinion, you know? So even like with my kids, I want to be the example of the father as opposed to talk too much. I want to do what I would want them to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I be that example for them, you know? So let me ask you something. So the first time you hear that you're going to be a father, how happy are you?
Stressful.
Yeah, but then more stressed out a little bit at first. I mean, I said, what? For real?
Yeah.
You know, but it's not that it wasn't something that I wanted.
Right.
It was just surprising, and then the way that like everything would just present itself in front of me when Mary said, it's gonna be 2 and not 1.
That's what I lead to, you know. I lead to, you know.
So that's what I said, you know, like surprising, like, wow.
Twins. Double for your trouble.
One time.
So what you did when you heard?
Girls like that.
What you did when you heard that you had a baby on the first time?
Yo, you know, say, how would it go on? Because like back in the day, you know, them time the Ellie them I say, yo, Marsha, what go on? At 10 my gone, you know. And you know, bingo nothing yet. I probably Ellie me call first, you know, I hop off of the girl in truck. No, but to be honest though, I was over the moon. It's almost like you go from boys to men. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you kind of feel like, wow, it's a different me, this, you know. I start to put things into perspective. I start organize my workflow different. I start realize, say, yo, it's not just about me anymore. Like, I have to defend this little youth now till the end. Yeah. So I gotta always have to have some sort of stability around him. So it did really motivate me to be a lot more conscious of the steps that I was making in life. You know?
For me, you know, when I heard first, you know, the very next morning, I got on work from 6:45, you know. Because to me, it's like a light bulb go off in your head, like you're saying to yourself, boy, I'm not doing badly compared to my peers in terms of where you are in career and business, but you're nowhere near where you want me to provide a particular quality of a life that I felt was provided to me. And I mean, I never thought my parents were rich, but I can't think of anything that was important that I didn't have, right?
Exactly.
Not that they didn't hear no, I never spoil it, right? But I can't think of anything important that they didn't make the effort for you to have. So it go off like a light switch, like it perhaps even to an extreme, which probably wasn't even necessarily healthy, like looking back. And it like you dive into work in a way which is ridiculous. Because you said, look, you have to be planning 1 year ahead, 18 years ahead. I mean, where is that going to come from? Like, you forget.
No, man, I really
serious.
talk. Well, imagine me at 5, you, me gone with us at 5, light switch at 5, fire underneath. So, you know, that's why you see me, I do the most, because, like, you know, at the end of the day, we have to make it while the sun shines. And we have the strength right now to set all things, you know, and set the platform for them.
For sure.
Contemplating, another junction in life. We live with our decisions because it all comes down to choice. I said.
Romain, what next? Do you see yourself branching out? Do you see yourself doing something else in entertainment? Do you see yourself owning something, pushing a brand? I mean, I'm sure you have other areas of interest, things that you do as an entrepreneur, but like in entertainment, you see yourself acting down the line or, you know?
I mean, anything is possible, and I never put a limit on what I can do, to be honest with you. And I try to kind of just live in the moment at each thing that come along.
Right.
So I don't like put too much on my head and then, you know, get overwhelmed with everything. Even because, you know, even the thought of wanting to achieve something and wanting to move in our next direction, wanting to, you know, take on something else.
Can drown you.
Yeah, man, it can drown you, you know, and just based on my brain work too. My wife knows, I can't take too much pressure. But so, you know, I have to just kind of pace myself too. So there is so much, my brother. If I should have start tell you all of what I think, and every day you come up, you get up and you see something else and you say, oh, I could have improved on that to make it, you know, my own or make it just bigger and better, you know. So there's so much, but
let me ask you something. You guys did YouTube for a season, right? And that was awesome. Just getting an inroad into, you know, your relationship with your wife and such a great, like, you know, bond that you guys have, and the girls and even your extended family. And I just love the unity and stuff. And obviously you guys not doing YouTube now, but do you see yourself jumping back on the platform anytime soon or in the future?
I want to listen to the post a video say, you know, kind of explain to the people why we took a break.
Yeah.
You know, from
Cause you know everybody did they want to know how come Romain them
people
not.
they'll say, yo, I'll ask you.
Well, let me say, I just figured that the world open up back, Romain outer road.
Trust me.
Busy schedule, whatever, and it just kind of, you know.
Bro, it is a lot, you know. Sometimes people wouldn't even understand, you know, and, you know, people with strength will make things that look hard, easy, you know. And I feel like we have a lot of strength as a family, you know, as a unit, myself and Liz, and we try not to complain too much about life, no matter how rough it gets, you know. But there comes a time where you have to just ease yourself and know, say, boy, you know, this life, yeah, there are gonna come some challenge where you can't even bring it to the forefront, because the people that watch you for, you know, strength and encouragement, and you now have to be doing this thing from a point where, you know, you kind of feel broken. Is almost like, for we, when I see it as a thing where, you know, is enough to bring forward to the people. So I mean, as I mentioned, being busy, the world open back, me the all about at the shows, me the everywhere, brother, at the shows and things. Yeah. And
you were the main editor. And
I am the main editor.
No, you need to tell people.
You know what come with shooting.
You need to tell people how vlogging is not no easy work.
I said it, my brother. Like, I commend you, I commend Tommy, I commend every content creator, every YouTuber, everybody that does something we have to do with them kind of work there.
Yeah.
It is a career by itself, my brother.
It take a whole heap of commitment.
It take a whole lot, and trust me, I have to take my hat off for people who do them thing, yeah. So to be doing anything else, you're doing this show now.
Content creation is a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, my brother. It is not easy. Some people might look at it like you just take up the camera and shoot something, but
and like all business, it come with HR management.
Thank you.
It come with customer service.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
It come with accounting.
Everything.
It comes with everything else. So there's no other element that is missing.
That's true.
It's a serious.
You have a brand to
commitment.
protect too, you know, as you go along.
So Matthew, I feel like when I look at your career, because I mean, obviously we're coming from very far.
Right.
And at every stage of your political career, I've always observed, because you know, when you have a friend, it's a different observation of the growth, right? And I feel like looking back, I can say like you're, you know, for a lack of better phrasing, your claim to fame as a politician was when you stepped up and did the ban on single-use plastic and styrofoam and thing. Like, how passionate were you about that, and why did you feel so strongly about banning plastic and single-use?
So, like with everything else in life, you have to choose your lane, right? I mean, every country, every developing country, every young country, because Jamaica is still a young country in the scheme of things, right? I mean, we're 61 years old, whereas other countries are 200, 300 years old because their history wasn't interrupted in a particular way like ours. So everybody has to choose their lane because there's enough challenges to go around. Now, I made a decision that, you know, I wanted to see things a little differently for me to stay and for me to determine that I wanted to bring up my family here and to be able to be close to friends and family, etc. So I saw some things that I wanted to change, and it's not that I didn't see anything else that bothered me, but Jamaica, for all the beauty that we have, all the value of our natural assets, we really don't take care of it. So, you know, people in music feel like, boy, we don't give music everything, or people in sports feel like you don't give sports everything. And the truth is, in a developing and a young country, you don't have enough bandwidth to give anything everything, right? So, you know, it's always a balancing act. So for me, growing up, I've never felt that we took care of this beautiful rock that we have, and you get into it, and maybe, you know, like in high school, we all have distractions, especially those of us who went into music and sports in a particular way. But when I got into my early 20s, it's like it rekindled that sort of interest from when you were really young. I mean, when I was in grade 6, a lot of people don't know that I led a protest against the then French embassy because they were shipping nuclear waste through the Caribbean. So I'm an environmental activist first, right?
Oh, okay.
So for me, it's very important that we protect what we have because, I mean, it is one of our greatest assets and it creates this potential that we just haven't taken advantage of in a serious way.
So you saw firsthand the damage that was being caused from the plastic and...
So I had a, you know, like it should have been about 2008, 2009, near to the time I was kind of coming out of music business. I had a recycling business with a friend from high school, right? So we saw firsthand just how we were managing our garbage in Jamaica. We saw firsthand how much of it was plastic. No matter how much you collected this week, you had more the week after. I mean, we went out once to the mangroves in Helsha. And there was this lady over there that used to use her canoe and sell us like, you know, in 100 bag increments, right? And, you know, when we started, she'd call you every 2 weeks. Then, you know, she said that you're paying and you're reliable and then turn to every week. Then it's every 4 days, then it's every day. And it was frightening to see all of that garbage and all of that waste going into that space. So having seen it firsthand and then, you know, eventually working also at Rand Nephew. So you kind of, literally my back window view was Riverton, right? And you'd work with the social committees that you had. So we used to do a lot of stuff in Seaview and with the Riverton kids at the time. So you go down there and you kind of see it. And then, you know, you really don't, unless you're blind, if you drive around Jamaica, you see that we have some environmental challenges, right? So I kind of, when I got into the Senate at 31, so also, what is my lane? Because we have enough people that cuss. And it's not, so as a farmer selector, I'm afraid of a clash, right? But but what was going to be your lane and your passion coming through, because there's you know, significant interest of people in banking and lawyers in politics, neither of which am I. So what was going to be my area of passion that would come through and hopefully make a serious difference that people could look back and say, well, never wasted time while he was there, you know? Exactly. And when I brought it to the PM at the time, like when I wanted to do the motion, because, you know, I think it's important. If you're on a team, you have to kind of work with some cohesion. And I said, go for it. So, I mean, the world now is targeting a treaty to deal with plastic waste. And they're in the negotiation phase now. And 8 years ago, we started our process. And I mean, it is one of the things in governance that will be, again, by the end of the year, way ahead of where the rest of the world is thinking of going. I think that's an important step for us.
Yeah, definitely commendable. All right, so like, gentlemen, you guys are young, right? So, on the back, not fully get the full broadness so it I go get in a day, you understand? So, and just like myself, like, how the bad comments, the negativity that will always surface when you're doing something good, bad, or in between. You always have those comments that just throw you off. And me, I don't know about nobody else, but I can get 1,000 good comments.
And the one.
You see that one bad comment there? I mash up my whole morning, you know?
Yeah, man.
I mash up my whole morning.
You know that all too well, man.
Sometimes I don't even bother go in the comment section too deep because I say I don't want something. I know people know how to mash up, you know.
But easily.
You know what I'm saying? How to deal with that negative vibration, that criticism, you know? So
in my case, that's part of the job description. You can't be in politics and can't take cussing. And I mean, you have to remember that you literally have, or people feel in some cases, even when you don't. You literally have some people's like life in your hands, in their mind, and their future and their children's future. So they're also very passionate with how they communicate with you. Sometimes after then cuss you rotten. I'm see an hour later and say, boy, I just the frustration. So you see it both in the traditional way in kind of the retail house-to-house politics, but you also have the new element now, which is the social media, where a lot of people also hide behind the ability to say anything without being identified, right? So it's a different dynamic than I think all politicians, but I think that the core is still that you have to be able to feel criticism. You have to be able to take cussing. Right? And if it's going to affect your person, it's not the job for you.
Exactly.
It's really not the job for you.
So from early, you have to cultivate that era of like understanding that you have to make this just run off of your back.
No, you have to. I think the issue that I think, you know, like other young politicians in the space that I interact with have is not like whether or not them cuss us. Like, I'm at the stage now where, you know, I understood now what former PM Portia Simpson Miller and she said stop watch news, stop watching comments, just get your report and really kind of, because you know what you're doing, you know the right thing. You have to really kind of commit to communicating in a particular way, so you carry people on that journey, but you can't be distracted with the negativity, because that is a part of it. The issue, people like myself and Floyd and even Damien, when you talk to them, is how do you shield your family from it? Because you signed up for this job.
Yeah.
Family didn't necessarily sign up for that job, so they support you and they want whatever you want for you to feel that you're achieving.
Yeah.
But when people try to enter your family into the discussions, it can be tough to deal with, because that's one where I'd say, all right, you got me there. You know what I mean? Like it's why, even though you'd want to, because there is gaps in Jamaica, none of us are perfect, right? As fathers or family men, right? We have our challenges like everybody else, but you'd want to highlight some of the good to also kind of encourage, sometimes remind yourself, not just for encouraging into other people. Share some of the good to encourage yourself, but also encourage other people that might be going through the same challenges in being the leader of their family unit, right? But you also, in my case, you get very wary, because I'm not trying to put out my family's face for those who have ill intent to be, zoning in on my family, especially in the age of cyberbullying and sort of nonsense that people have to go through.
Yeah. So
for me, it's simple.
Yeah.
It's almost like sometimes I feel disappointed in myself. Say me make somebody, for example, that come, like somebody who I'm not seeing them in person, and sometimes they don't even have a profile picture, to make a comment on anything that I will do and post online, for example, and I feel that way. I make me feel disappointed in myself, like, why you feel away with somebody who isn't even brave enough to show them face.
There's nobody there.
Why? Yeah, I should have just considered it as nothing at all. Like nobody is commenting, and I'm feeling away. So for me, I always say, and I say it to my wife over and over again, like, because like, sometimes I will say things and people say, yo, Romain, everybody love you. I say, yo, you need to see sometimes that some people have to say, some people might not come on my page and say certain things. They would go on other websites and they would post some bag of things. Like, But for me, I always say, I just need to know myself. And that's it. I just need to know what I stand for. So everything else on the year, believe it. But I know myself.
Exactly.
And ever since I start view life from like that kind of perspective, like, I mean, I say, just like yourself, you see it, so it kind of bother you when somebody have something negative to say.
Yeah.
But it don't pass, 10 seconds of, just brushing it out of me. Like, yo, that gone.
Remember, I grew up in the church.
Laugh, like, yo.
Remember, I grew up in the church, so you can just use the Bible scripture to, I can do all things.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you have to use them things that
you have to use them to
strengthen yourself, because
brother.
as you rightfully saying, everybody will like you as you think.
And everybody. And you can have the best quality whatever and put out there. You do the greatest work. You're being your best ever since you start do your whole politics journey, and then you're gonna have somebody out there who just don't. Everybody else has say good. No, I want to say something bad right now.
Yeah.
We're not talking about. We just want to say something. Not true, man.
You're not going with nothing if you don't have people who are trying to throw you off or hating on what you do.
I cannot believe that's something still.
People are stone fluxy,
People are stone fluxy, man, guy.
That's the principle. Right?
I really talk. So both of you, like, obviously, them say politics is a job that is a 24-hour job, right? Sometimes I see your schedule, your tour schedule, I'm tired for you. Is it me weeks on the road, months sometimes? How do you balance family, the time, both of you, I'm feeling this question too. How you balance the time that you give your family with such a demanding schedule?
Boy, I tell you, sometimes you just have somebody who understand. That's the first thing, because you have if my wife don't understand, and I'm so happy that we've been together for so long, from 2011, 2012, like we know each other, so she kind of understand what my line of work come with.
Right.
And when we say, yo, I go for a month.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, sometimes when we go out there, we make it look good. Because the things that we post, and people might say, whoa, them a live.
Yeah.
But really and truly, you wouldn't even want to go through half of the day them will go through.
Train before 1 o'clock in the evening.
You understand?
From Germany to France.
All right. You know it go.
Bugger thing and
You know it go.
Yo.
You know, so just having somebody who understands that, you know, it kind of take off a whole heap of the pressure, because they know that if I say, all right, I'm traveling from New York now, I'm going to go Boston, or I'm going to go Connecticut, so I should reach in 2 hours time, you make, you know, when I reach. Is just understanding that, all right, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, check, you reach, everything good, all right, you know? You know, it's just understanding each other and knowing, say, if you don't hear from me, something, you know, like something really important to go on,
right.
You know, and things will always change, especially as an artist. You know, they plan to reach and do a sound check, but then you realize that you reach and
the generator.
Something go on. You probably reach and can't even go to your hotel because the time with the drive take for reach at the next city, you know, you have to go just go backstage, change and jump on stage. Not even bed.
Crazy.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really and truly hard, especially when you don't want to reach out and make them know everything all right. And, you know, check in to make sure everybody at home is all right and everything will go good. But,
so when you do finally reach back now, you have to definitely know, lock off. You never want nobody call you for your phone, because it's all about family now.
Yes, you have to go in as much as you can. You know, take all of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure yourself to Matthew, like, sometimes.
It's crazy. It feels crazy. I mean, because especially because I'm in the environment and climate change space, I have the demands abroad.
Yeah.
You have the demands locally. Now, you know, you're expected to be omnipresent almost in politics. If someone has an issue in their community in Westmoreland, in an area that I'm responsible for, why aren't you here to deal with it? If you have an issue in Eastern St. Thomas at the edge of the island, why aren't you here or available to deal with it? So sometimes even though the portfolios are complementary, they're not necessarily as complementary as people think, because the functional way you deal with it. You know, I get it when you say you reach here and, you know, the mic not working the way you want and you have to work with the engineer to get it. I've had times where you call and say, yeah man, I'm coming home now. And I get a call that somebody else on fire. Right? And you have to go give support to people in a community. And I mean, you literally could say, yo, I just touched the foot of the highway, I just leaving this meeting, I come in now, see in 45 minutes. And that turns to 4 hours, right?
Yeah. And your family have to if they don't understand that,
if it go hurt them and it go hurt you.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's also important that in your family both, you know, your family understands, certainly the family that, you know, you were born with, and then the family that you choose. Understand where you are and why you're doing this, and be willing to share you also. Because it's not an easy discussion. It's, for me, it's the hardest with children. Because you have to be able to get them to understand. So for me, even what I'm doing now with politics, I was waiting until my son was a particular age. Because you want him to be able to have certain conversations and certain understanding. So that even, you know, and to be able to pick up the phone and call him. It's a different stage, and, you know, with technology now, you're able to use that a little better to say FaceTime me or, you know, call me and how was school, so you don't have to physically be there. And that time isn't critically important, but you're able to kind of bridge some of the gap even while you're moving between locations, which without technology, I can't imagine doing this.
Yeah.
Without being able to reach out and say, you know, how was the test? How was that class? How was the teacher? How was, you know, if you're not able to do that sort of thing,
It make you wonder how them they do it in the 70s and the 80s without cell phone and them thing then, that communication there.
And the truth is, when you talk to some of the kids of those politicians, not all of them have gone into politics, right? They've actually more have stayed away than gone into it because of the impact on family life. So it's something that I'm very mindful of. So for me, you know you have a challenge with quantity of time, right?
Yeah.
So for me, if I have an hour, the phone, I forgot to have the 50, 60 missed call and the 100.
Right.
If it's 1 hour, I know I'm addicted to my phone, right? So you have to physically go put it one side to give you that room to make sure that if they have it for an hour, they actually really have you for that hour, right? Because you do have challenges at the time, and it's to make sure that the major things never miss you.
Yeah, and you're about to step into a more demanding arena, or, you know.
Yeah, it looking like that. I mean, I think I'm at the the stage now where I'm able to manage representational politics. So even though I've, as you say, been on the front line of the politics certainly for the last 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Certainly with the JLP working with the PM, it's different when it's representational.
Right.
Because you're taking the service, the government service that people are to get within a constituency, and you're taking responsibility for it. Even things that you don't have total control over, but people put their trust in you that you're going to go represent their views. So it's a level of demand that isn't easy. I mean, it's a challenge, and sometimes you say, why are you doing this? Then you say, no man, but is it the right thing to do? Because you really you either like democracy or you don't, right? If you want to be in politics and you want to make that sort of change in our democracy and how we've structured our country, you have to put up or shut up, right? You can't have the same sort of talk as a man who face the people and get their blessing to represent their issues. It's it's not the same. Even though you have skill sets that you want to be able to draw on when you have particular challenges, right? But you can't love democracy and not be willing to face the election, right? So it's that time on stage for me now.
So, like, Romain, I know you always have stuff in the pipeline, things working on. What is really exciting for Romain? What you're looking for? What you say, boy, Jano, I bet my money, house and land for that project here. Yeah. What you have in the pipeline,
On this project, I talk about some things that, sometimes I listen back and I feel proud of myself, and we have done so much already. And just waiting on the day to tell people that this is the day, this is when this thing is going to happen.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to be over the moon. I tell my friend, them say, if you see me I drive around Jamaica and you see me have like a drink, don't feel no way.
Yeah.
I just happy say, but finally I get to put out such a project, and, a project that, I'm beyond proud of, man.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, and just the timing of it, I'm going on my fourth UK tour in October.
You've been around the block, you know what it feels like to have a project that you're proud of and it feels good in your spirit and your soul. Usually a bingo project. So that sounds good. You have any groundbreak, you have any projects working on that are very exciting, innovative, new? I know your focus is climate change and
I'm going to go back the sound system too.
Hey, might go back sound system.
I want to, like, as you say, sometimes you have all these things you'd love to do, right? Because you have the love fight and there are different things you'd want to experience, like maybe even one day you want to be a teacher, right? So, you have all of these things that you say you want to do. But for right now, I'm really focused on fixing some of Jamaica's water problems. Working with PM because
I see you doing a lot of work.
The issue isn't small. I mean, for as long as I can remember myself, Jamaica's had water challenges, right? And it won't fix in a 2-year or a 5-year period, but you want to make sure that within your part of the time that you really do build in some water resilience, right? Because Jamaica is seeing significant changes in its weather pattern.
Yeah.
People don't, we say it and you say it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and the people say, yeah, but what about my water now?
Yeah.
In between October and March was the driest October to March we've ever had in Jamaica.
Wow.
So you see water challenges when you feel like you're making some serious headway with some big projects to come, and then you get that sort of drought that disrupts the stuff. It's like, all right, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Triple effort, because ultimately the issues that are there are like playing out in front of you. So, we have some serious things that the Prime Minister has trusted me in terms of getting done.
Yeah.
For me, I really want to be a part of the team that kind of completes the real transformation of water supply in Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas, and St. Catherine, right? There's over 1.5, 1.6 million people that you'd create water resilience for. That's the basis of health, human life, economic activity, and we have a whole lot of work to do in that. So,
Enough respect in a gentleman.
Every time.
We're going to have to have a follow-up down the line.
Indeed,
I feel like some of these conversations that I have we never start talking. But guys, respect, man. Enough respect, man. This conversation, I'm sure people will be like, yo, I never know such.
Yeah.
But big up, man. Respect, man. It's always good, man.
Anytime, brother.
What you say? A cut, we a cut.
Yeah, that's
The cut. Respect.
Man, that's some blessings, brother.
Now this is me in the future. Always want to prove a point. Now we're contemplating another junction in life. We live with our decisions. It all come down to choice. It all come down to choice. Hey, it all come down to choice. Whoa. It all come down to choice. It all come down to choice. Hey, I made use of my opportunity. Now I'm where I wanna be.